Hi, everyone. So this is the start of the sixth assignment video, and this is the beginning of the module that is about posting assignments. This is probably the most useful part so far. Once you get your classroom set up, the majority of your time is spent posting assignments and then managing the assignments you post. So I'm going to break this down into really like step by step because this is the heart of the work that you will probably do in Google Classroom. So just like always, I'm going to go to Google Classroom. I'm going to find my practice classroom. That's what you'll do as well. Click on Practice Classroom, and if you don't know me, I'm very type A, and this yellow is driving me crazy. So I'm going to change it to this because the yellow is making my head hurt. So, anyways, once you get into your practice classroom, you're going to go to classwork. Now, yesterday or whenever you did the other assignment, you created these topics. So I did reading, writing, and math and social studies. It's helpful to have those set up at first, but as I said before, you can add them at any time, and they really keep your page organized. So I'm going to create an assignment now. So I'm going to do one that goes into writing. So I'm going to show you all the steps. So the first thing you want to do is to click create. And then you're going to get this long list. We'll go through each of these, but we'll start with assignment, which is the most common thing that you're going to do. And when you post an assignment, what that means is you're putting work up that you want the kids to open and do something and then turn it back into you. And there's a lot of different options. Okay, so I'm going to post a writing assignment, and this is going to be one that I've done with my class before, and that is the King Midas writing. So in this assignment, my kids, after we did some Greek fables and myths, they had to pretend they were King Midas and write his diary entry about what happened. And so I'm going to pull that document out, which I'll show you in a second. So when you're posting assignments, it's very helpful to have the assignment that you want to post already created in your Google Drive. So my advice would be is if you know that you're going to have kids respond to reading questions or you're going to have kids do a writing response, create that in your Google Classroom and create it as if you were going to print it out, photocopy it, and hand it to them. That's how you want to think about this. And then once it's created and saved, then go to Google Classroom and add it, attach it, which is what we're doing right now. You can do it on the fly. I think it's a little harder to be managing Google Classroom and simultaneously creating your assignments. It's possible to do, but my advice would be to always create your assignments in your Google Drive and have them ready for you to access. So back to this posting, that's just my advice. So I've given it a title. This is what the kids will see when they log in. So you want to make this, kid friendly and identifiable to them. And then you can type some instructions. So I'm going to say, and I'm always as explicit as possible. So click on the document. Now, oftentimes I give more information than this, but you basically can give the kids some general directions in this place. Now, for the youngest learners, you have to decide for yourself what can they access, what can they follow on the screen. But this is a place to put directions. I will say that one thing I don't like about this, which I hope Google will someday fix, is that you cannot adjust the font size. And I think that font size is kind of small for some readers. and you can't add color, and it doesn't spell check. So it's good to know that before you start that. Sometimes I type my instructions in Google Docs and I do the editing there, and then I copy and paste it into here. So you don't need to do that, but just so that you're aware that in this box, there's very little adjustments that you can make, that in a perfect world, I would make this font bigger and I would be able to do color and bold and different things to make it more visually appealing, but you can't. So I've got my title. I've got my instructions for the document. Now I can go down and I can click on Add, or I can click on Create. So Create is when you don't have the document made already and you want to make it as you're going. That is possible. I think that's kind of like the higher level, like once you get really good at Google Classroom, you can do that. But I find it easiest to work from the Add button, because you're just pulling from documents and assignments that you have already created. Okay, so I'm going to click Add. And when I click Add, I'm going to get this drop-down menu. I can add something created from my Google Drive. I can add a link, and I will do this in a totally separate video on how to link to websites that you want the kids to watch. I could add a file. If I didn't have it in my Google Drive, I can do that. And then I can link to a YouTube. I'll talk about each of those in a separate video. So for this video, I think the most common application for us as elementary teachers would be to add something from our drive. So I click Add. When the drop down comes down, I click on Google Drive. Now this box is going to pop up. And here's where you can, oh boy, there's my morning message. Here's where you can choose how you want, or which document you want. So this is my recents document, right? So sometimes, if like this was what I posted this morning, sometimes what you're finding is right there. I'm going to go to my drive, because the piece of paper, air quotes, piece of paper that I'm posting now is already located in my drive. So you might do recents, you might do drive. So if I go to my drive, now I know that that document is somewhere in my drive. I'm going to search it under, you can open any of these folders. If I knew exactly what folder it was in, I could do that, but I think it's in writing, or it could be in Greek myths. But I'm going to write King Midas, and this is searching for me. It's going to pull up my documents. So I have a Midas play. Here's the kids. Okay, so this is the assignment that I gave to kids. This is all of their writing here. I'll go to this one. It says Midas Online. So I know that this is my writing summary. So I'm going to click on this and add it. So now this document is right below my instructions. I'm about to show you the most important step of posting an assignment. And this is the thing that has probably caused me the most headaches, and the thing I've learned to always pay attention to. And that is, as soon as you post an assignment from your drive, you want to come over to here. There's always 3 options when you are viewing. When you're posting. You want to pick the right one. Sometimes you want kids to view a file. I'm going to show you that in a separate video. And view a file means you just want the kids to look at it. They don't need to do anything. They don't have to complete anything. They don't have to click on anything. They just have to be able to view it. I'm going to show you that in a separate video. Students can edit file means that you are posting a document and you want the kids to edit it. You want them to be able to jump on and do some work on it. However, when you click on this, it creates the potential that all the kids are sharing the same document. And in most situations, that is not what you want. So students can edit file and then you share it out with everybody. Means when the kids open it, they're all opening the exact same document and they're all trying to type on the exact same document. You don't want that. In 95% of what you're going to post, that is not what you want. However, there is this third option, which is the most important one, I think, and that says make a copy for each student. So this is the beauty of Google Classroom right here. So when you click on make a copy of each student, it's going to make a copy of the document that you posted. It makes an individual copy for each kid that's in your room, and it puts an individual copy of the assignment in each of their folders. So when the kid sits down, they open their folder and they click on this document. They can type what they want to type. They click submit, and when it comes to you, each kid turns in their own individual piece of response, and it comes like with their name on it, and it comes in an organized way, and it's really helpful. So this button here is so important. Let me go ahead. When you post a document that you are trying to get kids to use or respond to, always take a second to do this step right here, because once you do it incorrectly, you have to go back and redo it, which I'm actually going to teach you how, because it's inevitable that it's going to happen. But if you can train yourself to say, I've posted, now I'm going to come here, and you want to choose which one you want. This is the kids look at it but can't do anything. This is all the kids get the exact same document and they're all editing on the same thing. And this one is a copy for each student, which is probably what you want. So I'm going to click make a copy for each student. Okay, so I can see right there that I've got that. So that is the posting part. I'm not going to do it yet. Now I'm going to come over here, and here's where there's more details to figure out. When you see this word for, it'll say the name of a class. This is where you can click to decide which of your classrooms that you are the owner of do you want to put this in. Now, for most of us, it'll just be for your class or the kids you work with. However, if you are a person that works across multiple grades, perhaps you have a grade 1 classroom, a grade 2 classroom, and a grade 3 classroom, you could click here and you can find which classrooms you want it to go to. So right now, this is only going to go to my practice classroom, but I could post it to all of these other things. I'm not going to, but I could click those, and it will instantaneously post the exact same assignment to all of the classrooms that you choose. That is super handy for the situation we're in now, where you might have 7 classrooms and everybody needs the same thing posted. So for people who are going to be managing that, I'll do a separate video for that. But for most people, you're just going to click, this is going to be fine, okay, for whatever the default lands to. The next step is the students. So this is a really nice feature of Google Classroom. It automatically defaults that it's going to send the document that you posted to all the kids. But if you only want to send it to some kids, I don't have any students in my class, so I'll have to show you that in a second. You can click here and the drop-down list of student names will pop up. And then you can send this document to only the kids you select. So if you have to modify something for some reason, you can create a modified document and send it to just the kids who need the modified one, and send the standard document to everybody else. And it's seamless. Again, I'll do other videos, but this button allows you, the default is it's going to be sent to all students, but this button allows you to differentiate to see which kids are going to receive which assignment. So that's super handy for differentiation. The next thing to look at is points. So you can assign as many points as you want. So you can make it ungraded. which is what I do for a lot of mine, because this is not high school. So for a lot of my elementary assignments, I mark them as ungraded. But we do this thing in third grade that says, let me switch it back. So in third grade, we have these writing rockets, and they're a 10-point writing system. So if this is a writing thing and I want to see if the kids can get 10 points, I can assign it as 10. You'll see in the assignments that you have for this class, some things are worth 3 points, because if I write, do three things you learned, I can give you 3 points. So you can play with this any way you want. I'm going to mark it ungraded now. And if you don't do anything to this button, nothing happens. It's not, and again, this is a feature that's nice, but it's probably more functional for people who actually do grades, like, if you have an average of 80% or whatever, which we don't really do. Then you can come down here and you can click on the due date. If you do nothing, it will say no due date, but you can click and say, okay, I want this turned in by Thursday. And it will send the message to the kids that the thing is due on Thursday. So the advantage of this is you can set a due date. The disadvantage is that our kids don't have email. So what this does is it sends a prompt to people that says, this writing assignment was due on Thursday, kind of a reminder to get it done. But since our kids don't have email, they will never see that. But for your sake, you can assign that here, and it pops up when the assignment is posted. It shows, and you can tell the kids, okay, this is by Thursday. And again, it's a very different situation when you're dealing with kindergartners. I don't really know if they even know the days of the week yet, but that is the due date section if you'd like. This is the really handy part. This is so helpful. This is the topic, okay? So remember how we created topics in another video? Here, you're going to click on topic. If you want no topic, it'll just go to the top of the page, and sometimes that's what you want. But here you can place it where you want. So this is writing, so I'm going to click writing, and I'll show you in a second. It's going to automatically put the assignment underneath the writing tab. It's also important to notice that in here it says create topic. So if you were creating an assignment and then you realize, oh wait, I don't have a topic for that, you can create the topic right there and it will do it for you. So that's good to know. But I'm going to put this in writing. Google's also added this thing where you can create a live rubric to go along with whatever assignment you have. I am going to leave that off for now because we're just going to concentrate on how to post. So give your assignment a title, type your directions, click add, and pull whatever assignment you're adding. The easiest way is to get it from your Google Drive. Click over here to make sure you're going to post it the way you want it. The kids can view but do nothing. Everybody's on the same document. Everybody has their own document. Then come over here, select the class you want it to go to, which is probably just your default. Select whether you want it to go to all kids or certain kids. Decide if you want to grade it and how much. Decide if you want a due date. Click on the topic that you want it to go on. So topic, and click, and you'll get a drop down. Okay. And then I would ignore that. So now your assignment is ready, and you've got 2 choices. Well, actually 3 choices. So up here is your button for assigned. Okay. So if you want to assign it automatically, you're just going to click assign, and it'll instantaneously set it to the kids. You can also click on this and you can do a couple of things. One is you can save it as a draft. And what that does is it saves it in your file, but the kids won't see it until you decide to go in and send it to them. So that's handy if you're a person who builds, your assignments ahead of time, and you'll have them in your drive, and they'll be they'll be drafts in your drive, in your Google Classroom. And when you want to make it live for the kids, you go back in and you click assign. Again, I'll do that in another video. You can schedule. This is really handy. So if it's, Monday and you want this released on Wednesday, you can schedule a date. So you can click schedule, and then you pick the date and you pick the time and you click schedule. So that's handy, and it automatically will schedule it so that the assignment will be sent out at the day and the time that you want it sent out. And again, if you're somebody who plans ahead of time, you can schedule one assignment for Monday and one for Tuesday and one for Wednesday and so on. And then the option to make it live is just click Assign. So I'm going to click Assign. And what this is doing, see how it turned gray? And it takes Google a few seconds. It is taking what I just did and it's making it live for the students in my class. Now, I didn't build any students in my class yet, but those people that you have as your test students in your practice class, they will be able to receive your assignment, and then they should be able to open it and practice on it. So that is our first video, and that in assigning, and this is going to be the bulk of your learning. That, what we just went through, is when you're assigning a document that's created and already in your Google Drive, and you want the kids to each have their own copy that they're going to open and work with. So your assignment now is to go through those steps. Open your practice classroom, figure out an assignment that you'd like to post, that you want your practice students, your colleagues, to respond to. Attach that, post that as an assignment. Put it under one of the topics that you created. Go through your settings, like whether you want it graded or whether you want a due date. Do all of those things and then assign it. You could do this a couple of times. The more you do it, the better, the quicker you get at it. So if you want to pick a few different assignments to post to your practice colleagues, that might help you. And then you can practice with assigning it live, scheduling a draft, making it a draft, or scheduling a posting time. So that might be the trickiest part of the things we've done so far. Give that a try. And then when you're done, I'm going to be a teacher in your classroom if you assign me as a co-teacher. And if you have any problems, I can help you out because I can view in your classroom because I'm a co-teacher. So good luck, and I hope it goes well.